Advice and information from the experts. This is Ask the Expert. Here's Rob Carney.
Soon, it will be time to get your summer ride out of storage. And if you have a summer ride, Greg Marcyniuk from Heritage Insurance, our insurance expert, has some tips on some things to check and things to keep in mind to make sure your vehicle runs well and to make sure you're safe.
And I'm assuming that you've taken care of all your insurance needs on this and have talked to your broker or asked to make sure the proper coverage is in place. But the biggest thing is, when you get ready to bring your vehicle out for the first time after it's been in storage and you take that tarp off, you want to give it a good look over, both inside and out, and make sure nothing had gone bad with the paint, body, or upholstery, and make sure you then store your car cover properly as well, so you don't have any unpleasant surprises when you pull that out. And if you have occasionally started the engine during the storage time, then you will need to change the oil. If you did not start it and you did put fresh oil in, you're good, and you shouldn't have to change it again, but definitely check the level on it. You want to check your battery to make sure it still has power to start your engine and to have it on a tender, and you may have to charge it up or perhaps even buy a new one. So any doubt, it's best to make sure you've got it right so you don't end up getting stuck somewhere. As well, check for any leaks in coolant, oil, transmission, or brake hydraulic fluid. Top up if you need it, and fix whatever's leaking. And you always want to go through and check your belts, hoses, if there's any rot or anything. And if in doubt, just swap them out with new ones. As well, remember to remove whatever you plug the exhaust and intake. Something that I've done in the past is steel wool, because that really keeps those critters out. And as well, assuming that you used fuel stabilizer last fall, that you don't turn your gas into some kind of furniture varnish. Start the engine to ensure that it's running properly, even if you have started all throughout the winter. But before starting it, and if it's an older car that you have access to that distributor cap, just pop that off and make sure everything is nice and clean. And if there's any corrosion or anything, just take an emery cloth and go through and clean it up, so it's going to run that much better. As well, you want to check your tires to make sure that all the pressures are correct. And before pulling out of the garage, it's a good idea to just take a quick check under and around the car to see if anything is rolled underneath your car or around your tires, because you never know, people could kick some nails or some screws. Best to just check that. Be sure to make sure those brakes are working, and then take it for a few laps around the block, and pay attention to how the brakes are functioning and how the engine is running as well. If you hear any clunks in the suspension, and if you do have an automatic transmission, make sure it is shifting properly. As well, check all of your dashboard warning lights and all the gauges and make sure they're working properly. And then when you get home, just check under the car to see if anything has sprung a leak, including those brake lines that you've just tried out. Doing all those things, you should be good to go and safe to enjoy the summer cruising.
These tips are all online at the Heritage Insurance website.
That's correct. heritageinsurance.ca, or come on down to the corner of First and Fairford Northwest and talk to any of our fine people here.
Greg Marcyniuk, Heritage Insurance, on Ask the Expert.
This has been Ask the Expert, your source for expert advice and information.